What's up everybody, my name is Matt and today I'm going to be cable managing the atrocity that is my desk. So before I start, I have cable managed my desk before. I just recently moved. This is a new setup and I changed a few things. And last time I utilized these little cable trays that I installed under my desk and I zip tied everything to those. All my cables, all of the slack, I just coiled it all up and zip tied it to the back and it came out looking great, but it took me a whole day to do that. And then whenever I had to replace anything, like a light would burn out or something, it'd take me a whole nother day to undo that one cord and then get the new one in. So I'm gonna try something different this time. These are more like cable wraps because you affix them to the bottom of your table, then it just wraps around all your cables, and hopefully this will make it so it's a little bit easier to add and remove stuff. So as you can see, I already did a little bit of work before I started the video, just selecting what cables I was gonna use and trying to figure out how everything's gonna connect together. But anyway, let me explain what I've done so far before I start tying everything down. So first I started by moving my entire desk 4 inches away from the wall, and there are a lot of benefits to doing this. Of course, this is gonna give you a lot more space for cable management, especially behind these drawers. You'll have more space for hiding power strips and plugs, and it'll just give you more room to work back there. And looking at it from the front, you can't really tell that the desk is pulled away from the wall, but if you do install a light strip here, you will notice that it will allow the light to spread out further, whereas if your desk was against the wall, it would barely spread at all. And it makes it nice for working on, because if you have a big chunky plug, you're not trying to force it in between the desk and the wall. You got plenty of space, you can just drop it down there. So what I've done so far is just put all the equipment where I want it, and then I have all the cables coming out. That way, one at a time, I can put them all where they need to go. And I already planned where my power strips are gonna go. I'm gonna have one behind each drawer and then one on one of these cable racks down here. And I had a box full of cables, so there's cables all over the floor. I was trying to sort different types of cables and different lengths and just make sure I had everything I needed to make everything work. And I'll be honest with you, cable management is not for the impatient. It already took quite a bit of time just selecting all the cables. I haven't even zip tied anything down yet. All right, well, let's get our hands dirty, shall we? So for the monitors, pretty basic. I have a power cable, I have a HDMI cable for plugging into consoles, and I have a DisplayPort cable for plugging into the PC. So I'm gonna feed all these cables through this clamp here. There we go. And then this particular monitor arm has a little covered channel for all of your cables to go right here. So I'll put those in. All right, there we go. And with that, we already got a pretty clean looking cable run, but you can add additional zip ties if you want to clean this up, like that guy's hanging down right there. And if you can help it, make it so they're not twisting. It just makes it look a little nicer. And make sure you do leave a little bit of slack on this end, that way you can still adjust the monitor without it pulling real tight on here. All right, so this one's done. I can move on to the next one. So I went ahead and did all of the monitors, and I actually went back and added a few more zip ties down here where it comes out. It just looks cleaner when it looks like a single uniform cable, and when you see an air gap in between the cables, it doesn't look as nice. And now's a good time to mention something I do when I have multiple monitors is for the cable, so I don't forget which one plugs into what, I'll just take a zip tie and I'll put one zip tie on my main monitor, and I'll put 2 zip ties on my second monitor. And that way it's just something real discreet, but it helps you keep track of what goes to what. And that's about it for the top of the desk. You know, I am using these floodlights, but it's just one cable. It goes down there. We'll make that clean later. But I just wanted to mention that I do my mouse and keyboard last because I don't tie those cables down. I actually just curl them up in the trays down here. That way I'm free to swap them out whenever I want. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all of the cables coming from the PC that go to the main desk, and then I'll work on the PC on the other side. And again, this is my first time trying this kind of cable tie, and I was worried if it was gonna be a little flimsy, but it seems pretty good. So you slide that in there, and then that's strong. Like, that's gonna hold whatever you put in there. So you can adjust it, make it shorter if you want, and then if you wanna take it off, you just pull it back, and it slides right out. So yeah, I'm excited to use these. So I like to start on the back of the PC, and all of these cables coming out, I just want them to all come at a right angle straight down and just form them all together like that. So there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. And again, just make sure these cables don't twist or cross over. If this one comes right here, keep it there all the way down. If they cross over, it's not gonna look as nice. So I'm gonna run all of these down the side of the computer on the back and then have them go down where the desk starts. Okay, it took a little bit of time, but I got these cables all cleaned up, and I tried my new ties here, but I did not actually stick it to the surface. But I did stick it onto the desk at the very end just to give it an anchor point. But over there where the cables were showing, I ended up going with regular zip ties. I just thought it looked cleaner. And as you can see, everything's nice and clean on this side now, so I'm gonna go ahead and move to the other side. Okay, so I just got the other PC done. It's looking nice and clean, and I also went ahead and anchored all of these lights to the monitor cables. And then for the middle one, I used my different type of zip tie right there as an anchor point and just stuck it to the back of the desk. And I just got done with all of my networking equipment, so my Wi-Fi router, my Ethernet switch, and my fiber converter. And before, this was the biggest knot of wires over here, but I got everything in there all nice and tight and zip tied, and it's just looking real clean. I'm happy with how it turned out. All right, so now the fun part. I get to get underneath the desk, plug everything in, and clean everything up. Okay, I'm pretty much done for the day, and it's looking real nice and clean. You know, no black cables hanging down and standing out against those white walls. And everything came out real nice. This turned out to be a really clean setup. But today, I'm gonna go ahead and show all of you what it looks like underneath as well, because, you know, I feel bad about it. I'm like, yeah, it looks fine from here. Don't worry about it. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you all the dirty secrets that are underneath this desk. So underneath we have some cables, you know, going to the right drawer, connecting the two cable trays, and then going off to the left drawer. So really it's pretty clean right here. And as you can see, I tied my third power strip to the back of this cable tray, so things can plug in the back, but it's not actually taking up space right here where my keyboard and mouse cables are gonna go. And I just tied up any slack I had like this. And then behind this drawer, I have quite a bit of clutter back there, but I do have the power strip right in front, so it's easy to change things out and plug in things if I need to. And I could have made it a little cleaner back there, but I'm going to use the excuse that I was running out of zip ties. But this other side, this side has something pretty ugly behind it, and I'm not proud of it. But what happened was this monitor uses this super special power cable here with this big old block on the end, and it's a really short cable, so I mean, it just ran from right there to right here, and that's all the cable it had. So my power strip is actually hanging by that. I am not happy with that at all. I want to find another way to mount all this, or, you know, maybe I'll mount the power strip itself to the back of the drawers or something. But other than that, it's all working for now. And then, like I said before, I don't tie wrap my mouse and keyboard cables. So in this tray right here, I just have a USB splitter. And that's just plugged into an extension that goes all the way back to the PC. That way I can, you know, just have my mouse and keyboard cables just resting here. And when I want to swap them out, I don't have to cut any zip ties. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me do cable management. I know some of you are real concerned for me there, and I just hope my desk is a little bit easier on the eyes now. But if you found anything helpful in this video, please don't forget to leave a like. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And thank you all so much for watching my videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.